This is Yamaha's new XSR700. With its striking curves and gorgeous colours, it looks like something you would find in a 1960s motorcycle brochure. That's because Yamaha have styled their XSR range from the ground up with inspiration found within their extensive motorcycle heritage. And yet, the XSR range still nestled itself comfortably within the grains of motorcycling societies, with its heart and soul accepting what is allowed within a new motorcycle, but its looks have stood out more than Duchamp's Fountain from 1917. And this is its brother, the MT-07. While I accept that it is an acquired taste, the colour scheme just does not work. This doesn't nestle itself into the grains of society, with its obnoxiously coloured wheels and its jagged curves. Who knew what Yamaha were thinking when they decided to mix the same grey that you would wear on your shirt to a 9-to-5 office job stapling papers with the same fluoro orange you would find in a biro set on his desk? Despite all that though, the difference between these bikes are only surface level.
Well, the thing is that these two bikes are identical. You've got the same motor, you've got the same suspension, you've got the same brakes, and of course, you've got the same Yamaha reliability. Even goes as far to having the same radiator in the same position. But what tears these bikes apart completely is that these two look completely opposite. You've got the MT-07, which has been designed by Stevie Wonder, and then you've got the XSR, which has obviously been designed by Leonardo da Vinci reincarnated. This bike alone looks like it's worth an extra $1,000 compared to this one. But the new looks aren't just for show. You've got a much higher seat up here on the XSR as compared to the MT-07, where this seat dives in, and every single time you get on the motorbike, the bottom zipper of your jacket scratches the tank, and no one wants scratches on their brand new motorbike. But with this, even if your jacket does scratch the tank, you've got this little plate here that's held on by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bolts on here, and it's easy, and you can change it out if you get scratches on it, but I doubt it. Yamaha have finally changed this horrible dash up here on the MT-07. It's chunky, it looks dated, whereas you come over here and although it's a retro style, it looks more modern than what's on the MT-07. But the only problem is that Yamaha still haven't gone with a TFT dash that has colours. You're spending nearly $13,000 on a motorcycle and you still have a black and white screen.
Putting all the complaints aside and focusing on the XSR, how does it feel to ride? Well, I'll tell you this, it certainly does not feel like the learner approved motorcycle it claims to be.
I think quite possibly the most surprising thing about this bike is that despite it just being an MT-07 with a body kit, it just feels different. The seat feels different, the handlebars feel different. The way you just sit, the seating position just feels so different, and it just improves the bike that much more.
The problem that these bikes suffer from is that they have a target market of new riders with learner and provisional licenses, so they don't have as much to spend as someone who is really into motorcycle riding.
A massive problem I had with the MT-07 is that I would ride it for 10 minutes and then I would lose all use of my lower back because of how much it hurt.
So Yamaha have had to make obvious cuts in the suspension department, where the bike has had to sacrifice a smooth ride in order to maintain a stable setup. Whereas when you hop on a bike that's upwards towards the $20,000 mark and beyond, the suspension has a much nicer feel, where it handles the bumps and rebounds really well in the road but doesn't feel as harsh, due to the manufacturers being able to put more development into the bike and sell it at a higher cost. But what really makes the MT-07 and XSR stand out from all the rest is mostly the engine. These bikes have a big 660cc motor which I could go on all day about techie fact sheets and figures. But at the end of the day, the bike is just quick. It doesn't feel like it should be a learner-approved bike, which is really high praise for one that is.
Another thing is that Yamaha have gone with the exact same tyre as the past few years. These old school kind of Michelin tyres on the MT-07. Whereas now, Yamaha have gone with the latest technology from Pirelli on street tyres for this size bike. And they've got this really, really cool pattern on them which not only gives the bike more of a feeling on the road and performs better in weather like this, but it looks cool. It suits the design of the bike, which is really strange for a tyre to, you know, sort of match the design of the bike, considering it's, you know, when you look at a tyre you see, oh, that's a road tyre, and oh, maybe you might see on a dirt bike, that's a knobby tyre for dirt. But this, it looks like, oh, that's the XSR tyre.
While the bike handles absolutely beautifully, the brakes bring you to a stop gently with their anti-lock system. But that's where the technology stops. The bike is a raw machine. The wheel pops up in the air as you rip the throttle to full force. At this stage, you might be asking, what's the point of this bike if it's exactly the same as the cheaper MT-07? To that I say, open your eyes. It's rare to see a bike this gorgeous gliding down the road, as manufacturers in the past few years have been lacking in the design department. The only issue is, when you have no reflections to look at the bike in, you're going to have to stop and get off, which is the last thing you'll want to do after riding one.